Well, why?
Oh, don't tell me he's called in.
Yeah.
No, that's you.
No, that's me. Yeah, but he has.
Mr. Graham.
Yeah, hello, James. How are you, mate?
He's not all right.
Very good, very good,
Listen,
Michael,
I'm
apart
glad
from
to
your
see that
continual
you've,
harassment and bullying of Meghan and Harry.
Listen, mate, somebody's got to stand up for the workers, and that's what I'm doing, because, of course, the only bullies in this conversation are actually Meghan and Harry. It's been said, it's been written in, the top newspaper.
When did you
of the
become
land,
so
the
left-wing? When did you become a unionite standing up for the workers? What on earth are you talking about?
I've always been a great supporter of the royal family, James, as you well know. And, I mean, I can't remember what you've got this week because you change it so often.
I've never changed it at all. I have never changed it at all. I was a royalist and have been all my life. When they treated Diana appallingly, I became a fan of Princess Diana, and I thought they did then what they are doing now, and they should be ashamed of themselves. Should be ashamed of themselves, yeah.
What exactly did they do to Meghan and Harry, apart from welcoming them with open arms, paying for their wedding, giving them a free cottage to live in, and supplying them with hot and cold running butlers and servants that she could abuse morning, noon and night?
Well, you talk about abusing, yet nobody has any proof of this. I'd like to talk to the person who says it. And I don't want to be... Listen.
Have you not seen the email?
I don't know where that came from. I don't trust anything I see in the media. I don't trust a thing. I only trust what comes out of my mouth. That's all I trust.
That's a pretty disgusting thing. I mean, some of the things that go into your mouth are pretty disgusting as well, but that's not what we're here for, is it? I mean,
you have never seen what goes into my mouth unless you've been looking at a time I have not given you permission to look.
Listen, you know that I used to straddle Fleet Street like a behemoth. You have no idea what I've seen. I've seen an awful lot of things.
I know you used to straddle a lot, but listen, this is the point. This is just bullying on you and your friends from Fleet Street's part. You are. You're bullying this poor couple.
Why do you not understand what Ash does understand? That these two, right?
Ash understands with whoever's buying him drinks. That's all Ash understands.
Ash is a very fine man, and I have great support for Ash's view on this one. He thinks that these people could be committing treason.
I think so.
I think you may well be right. These two have lived high on the hog. They've taken money. Do you know that Prince Harry has never paid tax in this country? Do you know that?
Yeah. Doesn't surprise me.
I do know that, yes, and I don't think you'll find many of the royal family have paid tax.
The Queen does.
Right.
But he hasn't earned any money, really, in this country, and I think you'll find that when he was paid as a member of the British Armed Forces, he would have been paying tax like everybody else. So you're just making it up, Mike.
He had 30 million. They had 30 million quid.
How much do you think he was paid when he was in the army?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
You've got no facts at your disposal.
He probably wasn't paid when he was in the army. It probably went to charity. But the fact is...
you don't know, though, do you?
I've no idea. No, of course I don't. Do you?
You can't just make sweeping statements. I believe he
that's all you're doing.
He was in the army.
You've never met him. You've never met Meghan. You've never met either of them.
No, I have not met them. I don't need to meet them. There's lots of people.
No, you just listen to a load of twaddle, don't you? And then you bully them on air.
Well, all I can tell you is this. There's only one form of bully, and those are the ones that have been reported for bullying. I have not been reported for bullying. However, Meghan has been, and so has Buckingham Palace now confirmed, which is a very serious matter, by the way, James. I'm surprised you're not standing up for the working men and women of this country. These people have been bullied. They make official complaints.
What is a working man and woman of this country, Michael? What is it? What is this? You've suddenly become, a champion of who are the workers?
Well, everybody.
Are you suddenly saying that the class system is coming back and you don't like the royal family because they treat everybody like serfs? Is that what you're doing now?
No, I've told you I like the royal family. I'm a supporter of the royal family. What I'm saying to you is the people who work for the royal family actually work not only for the individual members of that family, they work for the crown, which means they work for this country, which means that we are all responsible, and the crown has a duty of care to ensure that they are not badly treated. But these people were badly treated, and that's what they're complaining about.
Well, if they were badly treated, and I doubt it, all we're talking about is somebody talking to them perhaps in a fairly harsh manner. Have you never been talked to in a harsh manner? What is bullying as far as you're concerned? I've seen how you treat your producers.
My producers love me, unlike yours, who keep
because they're
changing
frightened
about every 3 or 4 minutes.
Well, because if they're no good, they go. I mean, I'm quite happy with the one I've got at the moment. And
Izzy, the lovely Izzy, who is my assistant producer, came and worked on your show for a couple of nights. She said never again. It was the worst experience of her life.
Well, interestingly enough, She said exactly the same to me about you
Well,
and asked whether or not
clearly-
I could get
well,
her a job on my show, funnily enough.
She's clearly not to be trusted then, James. I mean, what can you say?
Like half the people who are reporting this story.
Not true. Richard Kay, right? Richard Kay is a good friend of mine, writes for the Daily Mail, editor-at-large, was a very good personal friend of Princess Diana, knows Harry quite well as an individual, knows William quite well too. He has written quite a big piece this week saying, surely, Harry, this is the wrong time to be giving an interview. Your grandfather, Prince Philip, is in hospital. He's got a heart problem. He might not come out of hospital. I think it's pretty shabby that Harry doesn't care about that.
I don't think that's fair. I think that's very unfair, considering the sort
How
of
is it?
pressure that he had with his mother. I don't think he did that thinking about his grandfather's
No, he doesn't do
situation.
anything
I
thinking
think
about
they
it.
did the interview before that. The interview could be
No, they
held,
didn't.
but
No, they did
CBS
not.
have
They did the
decided not to.
interview. No, James, you're wrong. They did the interview when he was already in hospital.
I think you'll find they did it before he was taken to hospital.
No,
he was
I think
only
you'll
taken
find
to
you're
hospital
wrong about
about
that.
5 days ago.
And they said there was
He's been
nothing
in
bad in the
hospital
interview.
he's been in hospital over 2 weeks now. They did the interview before they knew he was in hospital. They still did the interview.
Well, luckily today we're
Meghan
finding
doesn't
out
care.
that he's getting a little bit better. Of course they care. Of course
they
they care.
don't.
Why would you say they don't care? You don't know
Because
them.
their
So how can
behaviour-
you make
their
that
behaviour-
decision?
All right. When was the last time Meghan's father saw his only grandchild? Let me ask you that.
Well, she doesn't like him for all kinds of
Doesn't like
reasons
her
if you
own
read
father.
what she said about him. And she doesn't actually want her children to have anything to do with her father. And that is her
Don't you
decision. And there
don't
are
you
many
think that's-
people in this
don't you
country.
think- Don't you think, James, that that's a bit indicative of the sort of woman she is?
No, I don't. I think there are lots of people who've had bad, and I have no idea what sort of relationship she has with her father. She
has no
plainly
relationship with him.
doesn't like him. And if you don't like your father for some reason, there must be a reason.
Well, he
And
brought
that
her up
reason-
well, didn't he? He brought her up, she's got a great career, had a great life.
Who
from
asked-
it.
who asked-
He
who
paid
asked
for
you
it.
to
No one asked
chip
me. I
in?
don't need to be asked.
You
lied
don't know
about
that
that.
either.
Well, she
She
seems
lied
to.
about the fact that he paid for her college tuition. She lied about it.
It's terrible, actually.
You know,
What do you mean she lied
Treachery,
about it?
treachery.
She said that her father didn't help her to go through college. He says he paid for her to go through college, and he showed the receipts and the checks that he sent her. So I'm afraid you're wrong on that as well.
Well, no. I'm sorry, but the checks that he showed weren't, as far as I understand it from people who looked at them more closely. I'm just disgusted at the way the media are attacking, like you are attacking her now. And if you really didn't like
not
her for
attacking
some
her.
reason, yes, you are.
not attacking her.
Yes, you are.
I'm just
Yes, you
saying
are.
that
What
I
you would
think-
do is shut up about it. There are very
that's not
important
true.
things going
I'm
on in
sorry,
this
James.
world at the moment. This is
really?
not one of them.
Well, why are you leading your show with it then?
Well, I'm beginning to wonder myself, actually, but I was so aggravated with you and what you said.
Well, listen,
I
this is what I
was
do.
going to talk about something that was earth-shattering, but then I remembered.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you couldn't remember anything that was more earth-shattering. This is a constitutional crisis, James. You should be getting full square behind the royal family. You shouldn't be teetering around about the edges because some...
I'm not.
former
How am I
actress, some
teetering
former-
around the edges when I'm actually making myself extremely unpopular by the baying crowd
there's
that you
there's
are
nothing
whipping
new there.
up?
There's nothing new there, James. I mean, you've been unpopular
So-
for years, but I mean, you've
Well,
made a
there we
living
are.
out of it.
I have.
Mate,
You're
I mean,
absolutely
you are
right.
You are my role model when it comes to being unpopular. I think. What would James Wales?
Well, no.
do? You know.
No, not now, because you've actually gone. What would the majority of people do? I'll go with them. Yeah, I'll get them behind me.
Not
Whip
true.
the
No,
crowd up. Yes, you are.
incredibly
I
incredibly
want to
untrue.
see. Well, I'll tell you what I want to see. This is what I
do you
want
want
to
to
see.
see?
Forget.
Go on then.
I want to see Charles being jumped over. I want to see William.
Why
and
do you
Kate.
hate the royal family so much?
What you mean? You want to see him playing a game of leapfrog down in the West Coast?
I want to see us renewing the royal family because I think it is very important for this country to have a good, modern royal family. And I think they showed their colours when Diana died, and it was very badly handled. I don't know who their PR people are at the moment. They're doing a lousy job as well.
Well, the Royals famously have never had very good PR people. That's true.
No. Well, why? When you're available, I mean, why wouldn't they come to you? To be fair,
Because
PR.
I don't operate on both sides of the curtain, I'm afraid, James. I am simply a journalist. You know, I ply my
beg
trade
your
as best
pardon?
I can. I seek the truth.
What is this
as
both
best
sides
I
of
can.
the curtain
The curtain.
business? I'm not asking about that. You know, you can.
Well, listen.
What?
Listen. What I'm saying to you is this: once you work in newspapers and radio and journalism, you cannot become a PR. Everyone who does that has sold their soul to the devil. You have to start telling lies.
Well,
because
I
that's what
agree,
PR
but
is.
then, I didn't think you had much trouble with, as long as the money was right. I would have
Well,
thought,
you see, the great thing about people like you, James, is you have no problem calling people like me a liar.
Well, I'm
But
not a
you know what
journalist,
Meghan
you see.
Markle's done? But you know what Meghan Markle's done? She's called the Queen a liar today. Have you seen the clip? Have you played the clip out?
I know, but if you want to play it out, we'll play it out on the show. But I'm not
She's
bothering
accused
myself
the
with
palace.
it.
No, she's
firm.
accused the palace of telling untruths about her, peddling.
Well, hang on,
untruths.
hang on. Take a breath and let's hear the clip. Take a breath. Let's hear the clip.
How do you feel about the palace hearing you speak your truth today?
I don't know how they could expect that after all of this time, we would still just be silent if there is an active role that the firm is playing in perpetuating falsehoods about us. And if that comes with risk of losing things, I mean, there's a lot that's been lost already.
Well, yes, I've heard that clip today, and I don't know why you would imagine that is her calling them a liar.
How can you be on the side? How can you be on that woman's side? She's accusing the Queen of lying.
Hang on.
That's what
I'm
she's
putting
doing.
myself in Harry's position, and quite frankly, I am appalled at people like you, and I do like
People
you.
like
I
me.
do like
know,
you.
I appreciate
apart from
that, Jeff.
this,
Thank you.
but I
do.
cannot understand how you and your journalist friends, because I've never had that luxury of being a journalist. I'm not sure what a
Well, you've never
journalist
been
is.
a journalist. That's why you have such a loose relationship with the truth, James.
How you can actually say that she is lying, from that clip, I have no idea.
No, she said the Queen was lying, didn't she?
Well, no,
she
said
did.
the Queen.
No, she
said the
didn't.
Yeah, she
palace.
quite clearly said
You
the palace were
scruffy,
lying.
long-haired
Yeah,
twallop,
they're
will you
lying.
stop interrupting?
Well,
Otherwise, you
she's
can go
lying, she's
work with
lying.
Mike.
She said the Queen's
Thank
lying,
you.
and you're saying the Queen's lying then, James, are you?
He is. That's what he's saying.
You're-
It's a shocking admission.
That is
I
a
didn't
shocking
say
thing.
that
Absolutely
at all.
shocking, isn't it?
Both of you.
Well,
Yeah, right, listen.
Meghan Markle
Before
has said that the palace, right, the palace which is run by the Queen, has been peddling untruths about her and Harry.
Well, I put it this way. I imagine that and I don't understand why anybody would say outright that you think she's lying. I don't see why she should. But I would imagine that the PR for the palace has probably done this, and probably Her Majesty doesn't actually understand or know exactly what they're putting. I don't know.
Well, you're saying she's too stupid to know what's going on. That's a
I'm
bit-
certainly not saying that at all. I'm saying that maybe she wasn't given the full information. Maybe she does. I don't know.
Meghan didn't give him the
But
full
I think
information
the
because
pe-
she said there was nothing bad in this interview after she'd recorded it, and obviously there was terrible things.
Well, there isn't anything bad
I
in
mean,
it.
can you
What is that?
imagine,
Is that
right,
bad? Do you
James?
Well,
think
yeah,
that's
saying
bad?
that she's lying, the Buckingham
You've got
Palace
a
lying.
family, James, right? You've got a family. How would you feel if you had an elderly relative in hospital, right, who was not particularly young, who was not particularly well, and one of your
Sounds like
other
we're talking
relatives-
about me.
Well, we could be, and this is why I know I'm appealing to your simpatico side here, because I know
No,
that really
don't bother. Don't bother.
down, you are a generous and kind individual.
Don't bother.
Imagine
I
if
don't
one of
bother.
your siblings or one of your children was slagging off the matriarch of your family. Imagine that.
Well, if the matriarch of my family deserved it, then that'll be fine. But I don't actually understand how you can take sides on something you don't know anything about, and why you would think that clip is her
I've covered the royal family
saying,
since before Princess Diana was even engaged to Charles.
yeah, I'm sure you have. And I've spoken about it since you were probably in short trousers, but that doesn't make any difference, does it?
He still wears short
I'm in
trousers.
short trousers now, actually.
Yeah, he's still got them.
Yeah, I'm wearing them now.
Do you think she planned this, Mike, from the start to move to Beverly Hills? I
Do you
think
want to
it's
go and
probably-
work on his show?
It's basically
Do you
was
want
the
to? Do you
plan,
want to go
wasn't
and work with him? Because quite frankly,
She absolutely did, right? She knew what she was doing. She knew exactly.
Right, you're
what
going
her
to work with
plan
Mike
of action
Graham
was.
now.
She went and met Piers
No, yes,
Morgan,
it-
right, in a
that's
pub
it.
in West London. She went and met Piers Morgan in a pub. You know what she said to Piers? She said, "How can I find myself an influential boyfriend in Britain? That's what I want to find."
do you know this is just getting worse and worse as far as
You
I'm
can't blame
concerned.
her, though. She's
Here
played
is-
a blinder,
I
hasn't she, Mike, really?
Here's a young lady
She's
who's
done
in
brilliantly,
love
but
with a
Harry-
guy
Harry's
who.
been taken to the clean.
Exactly. Stockholm Syndrome, isn't it? It's,
Yeah.
How would,
absolutely.
how, Do you know, you are both appalling and shocking people.
We should rescue Harry.
Absolutely appalling and shocking people. Look at the pair of you. A couple of old misogynists, if ever I saw them. I suggest, Ash, you leave the studio now and you go to Mike's and you stick with him.
It's too early in the morning. It's very early.
No,
It's
Mike.
10 in the
I'll
morning.
tell you what, Ash, if you come round now, literally the guy just delivered me a curry, so I'm not
He's a bit of a foodie, Mike is. Yeah.
Yeah, well, why don't you go, Ash? There's the door.
I've just had two dinners, but it's tempting. I mean, there's another dinner.
And I'm sure Michael arranged for you to get a car in to do the show with him in the morning. He'd love that.
I'll bring him in my own car. I've got a lovely new Range Rover.
He's got the Range Rover, yeah. He's got a lovely Range Rover.
Lovely. Really nice. Open sunroof as well.
Yeah, man.
You know,
I saw you climbing in the back of it, didn't I, a few weeks ago?
Me? I didn't climb in the back of it.
Someone else's Range Rover.
No, that wasn't my Range Rover. It was somebody else's.
Yeah.
Right, listen, I've got to take a commercial break, unlike a lot of you who miss all the timings on your programmes.
Yeah, listen, anyway,
I don't agree. No, I don't agree with Mike.
By the end of the show, James will change his mind like he does on every show. Yeah. You know, last night he was...
I have changed my mind about one... No. This is actionable. Where's my lawyer? No, because I admit to having been a Remainer and not understanding it fully. And then somebody came into my life and actually explained to me, and I have realised that the European Empire...
And this is what's happened here as well. Eventually you will come to understand it.
I will not.
It takes about 6 months.
I want to see a new modernised royal family. I want to see King William and Queen Kate. I think we need the old guard left behind. I mean... You know, Charles and his brothers, really not the most exciting or entertaining people. Diana's siblings would be better.
The Queen should abdicate, James? Are you calling for the Queen to depart the throne?
Personally, I actually think the monarch should abdicate at the time of retirement.
Oh, my God.
I've just decided that now.
Right, immediately. Breaking news.
This is unbelievable.
I think, there we are. Here's the headline for tomorrow. I've considered this. And I see no reason in the 21st century why the royal family continue to behave like it's 1066 and all that. I think our monarchs do a great job. They are the best PR company normally for this country. Yeah. Unfortunately, it has been proved since the death of Diana that they are not able to move themselves into modern times. I think Diana's children will do a great job. I think the media, the old-fashioned media, wear that label if you wish, the old-fashioned media are doing exactly to Harry...
Radio TV, the world's greatest radio station.
To exactly the same... Well, we are. At the moment, if you stop portraying all of this...
Old-fashioned media, I'm the way forward, mate. I am the vanguard.
He's rebranded.
Wait till we see his body. Oh, look, there he is. You can see just how modern he is. God, I thought that was Christo Fufas for a moment.
He's had a makeover. He's reinvented himself.
Right, I'm getting such abuse in my ear from the producer about being late for a commercial break. I've got to do it.
Care, do they?
Well, no, they don't. And that's another conversation for another time.
Me, James. I don't know. My voice will be heard.
I'm listen. Ash, I'm sitting back. You speak as much as you want. I never silence people when I know they're wrong.
Yes. Well, listen, I will not be silenced. I will not go quietly. Remember who said that?
No, who did say that?
Who did say that?
Diana, in the Panorama interview.
Well, no, other people said
Diana, that was.
Yeah,
you're right.
That's
right. Yes, I knew.
She did.
I wrote the headline, guys. I mean, I know what it was.
Yeah.
But no, I agree. I've remembered now. It's just other people have said that as well through time.
And the news today, the police aren't going to press any charges about that. There's no case to answer with that interview and the false.
He is not going to get another interview for the rest of his life.
No. Well, no, he did the Michael Jackson one, didn't he, as well?
Well, I'm not even going to talk about that because I might be rude. But, you know, the problems are that the royal family needs to modernise. The royal family should abdicate their positions at retirement age and move on. That's the way it should go.
Too old, then.
Yeah, he's already too old, Charles.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll be moving on.
People shouldn't work beyond 65 then, James?
No, I think people should work as long as they want. But when you're doing a job like that, where you need to be running around, I mean, it's
all you have to do is wave your hand.
It's okay for old people like you, Mike, because, you know, you can sit there and do this continually. Right, I'm taking a break. You can phone back any time you want.